Well, it's better late than never. I'm finally trying out the Caran Neocolor IIs. These are the special edition 50th anniversary sets. I don't think you can buy these guys in open stock. When I found that out, I decided I'd just buy them all, might as well. I've already tried out the dark one, which is this one here, and I'll pop that video above. But all of these ones I bought afterwards. It was kind of like around the month of my birthday where I broke my no buy completely for the year, and I just kind of went on a rampage online and bought a whole bunch of stuff. That's what 6 months of not buying art supplies will do to you, I guess. So because I'm really late getting to these guys, I'm not going to like spend ages swatching them. I'm just going to do some quick swatches now and show you the different colours, and then I'm going to get straight into drawing. I really just want to get my hands on these and draw with them. I've had them sitting on the shelf behind me for months and months now, so it's time we finally have a look. So first up we have the dark set. This is a set I was gifted by Caran when they were doing their big marketing campaign. So I've already used these. There's a lot of very dark colours. I wouldn't have chosen this one if I was just going to buy one, but the colours are really nice in there. I find it hard to see how they can be used on their own though, because they are very dark. So this one is Pop, and it's very pretty. Look at all of those beautiful pinks and oranges and yellows. It's basically like a sunset. Then we have the Pastel Set. This is another one that I thought looked really nice when I saw it. Look how pretty these are, and you can tell which ones are the special edition because they have very kindly put special edition on the side there. Next up is Portrait, which is going to be perfect for drawing portraits, but also they have a lot of kind of earthy brown tones in, so I think they'd be really good for drawing different types of animals as well. A lot of these colours can be seen in different animals, and these would be really nice as highlights. There's a random purple in there as well. And lastly is Lush. This is the one I was probably the most excited for because I just had so many lovely greens in. And the greens with Neocolor IIs are always the ones that kind of I struggle with a little bit. Look at all these lovely greens and blues and another random purple. I don't know why they have to keep putting purple in everything. So these guys all have 10 Neocolors in, but only 3 of the 10 are new. I'm going to go through my swatches as I go through each set, and I'll see what other new colours I have, because it would be nice if there were a few colours on here that I don't own, just because it is quite expensive to buy an entire set of colours just to get 3 new ones. So these are all the colour palettes. I think they look so nice together. Literally you could buy these or the entire set, I guess. I think they sell it in a set. You would have a lot of colours. I don't think you'll need much more. Maybe some extra blues. There's not many blues actually. But I've been through and I made sure I found out which colours I had and which were new. So the top 3 are always the new ones. And then I put a little dot here for the ones that are new to me as well. I actually did get quite a lot of new colours. In the dark set, I had 2 extra new colours, which is lovely. I really like this Zinc Oak colour, and Captain Morgan's pretty nice, I guess. I think these 2 are so similar. And in this one I had 3 new colours, Salmon White and Russet, and their special edition ones. The special edition ones are so nice here as well. This one here is so nice. Light Wine Lees. Interesting names. Did anyone else notice there's 2 Crimson Alizarans? One in Portrait, one in Dark. Now that is cheeky if you ask me. The Pop one is so pretty. I actually really love it. I'm not a huge fan of purple, you guys know that. But I think this is such a nice colour palette. And I also have 3 new colours, these 3. So I had 6 colours in here that I don't have before. This Rose of Garance is probably my favourite of the special edition colours. So nice. Moving on to Pastel. No surprise here. For me anyway, but I have all of these colours apart from the new ones. I love this Amazonite, so nice, and this light heliotrope, also beautiful colours. Really looking forward to those. And last one is Lush, and I have these 3 in the middle here, but I didn't have these 4. So I've got 2 new greens, which is nice. This Chinese yellow, which is such a nice yellow, and a lilac. We won't talk about that one. And then for the new colours, beautiful blue here. This one here kind of looks like jade, very close. So those are the 5 palettes, and now I think we're going to use each of these in a drawing. So my plan is to use each of these colours, and I want to use them as their own palette. I'm going to try not to use anything else. I'm going to try my very best just to use the Neocolors on their own. I don't know why I do this to myself, make things more complicated, but I actually have 5 different types of paper here. You can kind of see the little bit of a colour difference. And we can see how the Neocolors work on each of the papers. Just something extra. And my plan is to do an animal for each of the colours. And I'm trying to pick an animal that fits the colour palette. So for example, Lush, I was thinking jungle, swamps, crocodiles, frogs, snakes, things like that. And I don't know why, but I just want to make them all look like they're at a birthday party. So I want to do like birthday cake and little hats and balloons and things. They're not going to be at the same party. They're each going to have their own separate party. But I figured it's a celebration of new colours, even though they're about 3 or 4 months old now. It's a celebration and the animals are celebrating their new colours. So I'm going to get on with it and I'll let VoiceOver April take it away from here. We're going to start off super strong with the portrait set, and I'm going to use it on this Canson Bristol paper. Now, I didn't think that the choice of paper would really matter that much, but as I was going through these drawings using different papers, they really mattered. Turns out the Neocolor really likes a smooth paper, because I was really wasting a lot of the Neocolor towards the end when I was using it on like the rougher paper. Not only that, it was messy and I was getting bits everywhere, which was very annoying. But this first one was really nice to draw. And it was the portrait set. So there was lots of browns, beiges, pinks, yellows. But I'm not really much of a portrait artist. So of course I decided to do a tiger. Because if tigers are known for anything, they're known for their pink, beige, and purple fur. So I tried to put the purple in the spots where he would have the shadows. And then I put the other colours other places. I did look at the reference and I kind of went off the path a little bit, but I think he turned out so cute. And I actually wasn't planning on using water for any of these, but I did for this first piece. And I also did it for the last piece. And I actually really like how it looks. It kind of makes a really nice base for the darker colours to go on top. And adding water sometimes makes the colour a little bit more vibrant, or a lot more vibrant. So it's not something that I do a lot because I normally use Neocolor on top of things in like my mixed media pieces. But maybe I'm going to have to start using it with a little bit of water in the future, because I did really like the look of it. So this one was pretty simple, just a little tiger. It was quite easy to do the background and then do all the details with that really dark color, which I think is Van Dyke Brown, and add in some little party elements, some flowers, some dashes, all the good stuff that I love to do at the end, the little details. And my little tiger's finished. And I think this guy turned out to be one of my faves. Going from one of my faves to probably my least fave. I did this on the Cas Art marker paper, which was also very smooth, but very thin. I probably wouldn't use this paper again, to be honest. Not for mixed media or for Neocolor anyway. But I did the dark set, and I have used this one before. This is the one that I got from Caran when they were doing their marketing stuff. So I've already used this before in a sketchbook, and I did it with like a woodland scene. So it was very autumny, very dark and kind of spooky. But today I was drawing party animals, and I was struggling to think of a darker animal that had all these colors, because even though it's a dark set, there's a lot of different colors in it. There's a green, a yellow, a blue, a red. And how was I going to make them work together? Well, let me tell you, it was a struggle. I decided to do a raven because they're lovely and dark and they have a nice sheen to their feathers. So I thought, like, I was like, how am I going to do this? Because the light isn't going to go over the dark very well. So I tried to do this thing where I put the light colors down first, and then I went around with the dark, like basically drew around it. And then I went over the top of that with the light colors again to blend it. It was a really long process. It took forever. And you can also see this is one of the papers where the Neocolor starts to kind of break apart as I'm drawing. It was a little bit annoying and also surprising, because this was quite a smooth paper. I just didn't really seem to like this paper, or maybe I was just drawing really hard, which also could have been a thing. I am quite heavy-handed sometimes. Just ask my mum. She always used to say, April, you're very heavy-handed, when I was younger. So just ask my mum if you want the real stories there. But this is how the raven turned out. I gave him a little worm friend and a birthday cake. So it's his birthday, I think. Or maybe it's the worm's birthday and the worm's sharing. Either way, don't worry, no worms were harmed in the making of this raven. And that's it. That's the dark set. From the darkest to the lightest, we're moving to the pastel set now on the pith paper. So I took this one directly from my sketchbook, and this is the paper that I'm the most used to working with. So to me, it just felt kind of natural, and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to keep you guys on your toes because we did go from one that I didn't like to one that I really like again. It is a roller coaster of emotions, this video is, truly. But I decided to draw a unicorn. It's basically a horse with a horn. It's not a Pegasus that has wings. I did almost draw wings, but I wouldn't have been able to fit it on the page. So I'm glad I didn't. And I honestly had no plans for this one. It was free-form colouring in. It was very, very relaxing. I drew the horse to start with. I just picked a reference online, something that looked flowy and elegant and magical. And then I kind of just went to town with the Neocolors. I mixed all those colours together. I put the greens next to the oranges, the pinks next to the blues. It was a rainbow. It was fantastical, emotional. I actually really love how it turned out. I had no plan. I had to sharpen some Neocolors along the way. RIP to the sharpeners because I did not save them. But I did need a nice little sharp point for this horn. And the one thing that I wasn't quite sure about was how to do the hair. So I did it like stripy like this, kind of like a candy cane. And I think it works really nicely on the tail. Try to blend all those colours in together to make it look a little magical. But the mane, it did turn out a little bit like striped leggings. Maybe it doesn't work very well on a bigger piece. But I think it all comes together in the end. The only thing I didn't do for this little pony was anything birthday related, because by the time I'd gotten to the end, well, I'm adding the details on now because I thought I needed some outline, and I'm actually really glad I did because it kind of brings it all together. By the time I'm adding these little bits on here, I'm thinking, where am I going to add party stuff? I can't fit a hat on the head. I don't want balloons to ruin it. It was such a nice little image. I really liked it. So I just did a little star and called it a day. So that's my little unicorn, and probably my second favourite. Next, we're using the Pop set, a very colourful set, and we're going to be using it on Jackson's mixed media paper. This was probably the hardest paper to use. It was the most toothy, the most textural, and also I did find this animal quite difficult to draw with the colours. Although there's a lot of lovely colours in here, and I was trying to find an animal that matched, and I found this picture of, I believe this is a baboon. I forgot what monkey this is. I saw the lovely colours of its face there, and also it had some really beautiful highlights on its fur, like blue and purple highlights, and it had this chest area that was yellow. So I thought, perfect, this monkey is gonna do the job for the Pop set. But as I was drawing, I found it quite difficult to kind of blend the colours together and to do the highlights. So I used the same technique that I did for the bird, where I tried to draw around things, and I completely forgot to film the rest. I do apologize. But I basically did exactly the same. I drew around it and I blended it in. But you can see in the fur there's lots of white spots. That's because the paper was so toothy that I would have been there all day blending stuff. So I basically did the best I could. And this little monkey's sad because no one came to his party. He has his little hat in his hand. He's got his decorations up. I didn't make him look as sad as I wanted to, unfortunately. He could have looked a little bit sadder, I think. But I think the feeling's there. We've all been there, right, guys? Where we invite a whole bunch of people to our party, but no one turns up. Just me? Oh, okay. Well, anyway, that's Pop set. And now we got the last one. Let's see what we're going to draw. So now we have the Lush set. This set is the one I was the most looking forward to using after the pastel set because I loved all those beautiful greens and yellows. We won't talk about the purple. This one is on Daler Brownie Aquafine watercolour paper, also quite a toothy paper. And because it was a watercolour paper, I decided to use water again. So I do that in a little bit. But first, the animal that I'm drawing is an alligator, I believe. If there's any alligator or crocodile experts in the audience, please let me know what you think this is. Pretty sure it's an alligator. I was looking for like animals from Florida, and I think there's alligators in Florida, right? Not crocodiles. Someone will have to correct me if I'm wrong. But I decided to do something swampy, like this beautiful creature here, and he was in the reference image. He was actually standing on like a log, and I thought, hey, it wouldn't it be cool if instead of standing on a log, he was on a big pile of presents, like it was his birthday, and everyone came and gave him heaps of presents, and he's so excited to open them. He's just like climbing on top of them with excitement. So that was the idea. I think it turned out okay. It's not really something normally that I would draw. I always say that. I always feel like I say that in videos. This isn't something I would normally draw. But then look, I've drawn it and I thought of it. So maybe that's wrong. Maybe it is something I normally would draw. I did enjoy drawing him, but I think maybe all these colors together was a little bit too much. Everything is just so vibrant. Like there's nothing calming or muted or it's just very in your face. Like the yellow, the purple, the like bright green, the blue. I think they do all work together though. I mean, I could have left that purple behind, but it does add something, I guess. It does add a little bit of contrast, which we needed. That's our little alligator or crocodile, who knows, sitting on the pile of presents, and that was Lush. I gave him some teeth, some little feet. He's not very swampy, but I do think he's quite cute. So that was our Lush alligator or crocodile. So those were all of the newish 50th anniversary Neocolor sets. I'm so happy I finally got to draw with them all, and it was actually really fun using them on their own. Let me know which set was your favorite. I think mine was probably the pastel and the portrait and the lush. Okay, actually, I like them all, but if I had to choose one, I picked the pastel one. I'll leave links to the sets below if you want to grab one yourself. I think they still have them out there, and I don't think they're going to be doing them open stock, which is a shame. So if you like any of these special edition colours, probably best to treat yourself now. And that's all for me. So I hope that you enjoyed watching the video. If you did, leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.